Yo, what's good, everybody? We are back again with another episode of the Mal with a Mic podcast. I know it has been an extremely long time. I apologize. Been busy with school, so it's been harder to get episodes out. But I'm telling you right now, I'm locked in, and you guys are going to see a lot of episodes over the next couple of months. I'm going to be pushing out episodes, quality content. If you guys haven't noticed already, we got new mics, so hopefully on your end, this is sounding a lot better than usual. And just so you guys know, we are officially on Spotify. This is going to be the first episode posted to my Spotify podcast. If you guys, are unable to watch the video, go listen to the Spotify podcast. You can listen to it in the car, sitting down, whatever. So make sure, please go tune in on YouTube or on Spotify. Thank you guys, and let's get started. Today's topic of discussion is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. What in the hell is going on? As a 49ers fan, I'm a diehard Niners fan. Like, I'm telling you, diehard. I don't know what I've been watching this season. It's as if we're cursed. And I feel like that Thursday night game versus LA the other day sums up our entire season. We're on our third string running back who's playing injured. Okay. That's a topic of discussion. Then Deebo Samuel, which we will get into. I'm going to get into that. And Devondre Campbell. So let's start from the beginning of this game, or even before this game. So Niners, obviously last week, really dominant, good-looking win versus Chicago. Chicago obviously really struggling, but that doesn't matter at this point in the season. Wins are wins and losses are losses. And yeah, we completely dominate them throughout the entire game. Deebo Samuel, who has undoubtedly struggled to say the least, struggled this season, goes out on Twitter like he usually does, his social media, and tweets, quote, "Not struggling, just not getting the opportunities." So obviously this sparked some fire within the 49er fan base. The coaches and players backed him up and said, we want to get Deebo the ball more. And he's not struggling. He just needs to, get going and stuff. And I think as fans, when we saw the rest of the team and the rest of the coaches and players and his teammates back him up, we said, okay, Deebo, we're expecting something big from you this week versus LA. In a must-win game, absolutely have to have it if you want any chance at making the playoffs. Deebo had to show out. And he had to back up what he said about, not getting the opportunities. So, from the beginning of the game, if you were watching, you could tell the Niners were trying to get him the ball. And he had an absolutely horrendous game. Absolutely horrendous. I don't have the specific stats now. You guys can go look at it. But I believe he touched the ball around, I think it was 10 to 13 times if we're including targets and carries. So 13 touches for a receiver, which is quite a lot. That's quite a lot of opportunities. So let's figure out what he did with those opportunities. I think on like 8 targets or 9 targets, he had like 3 catches. He dropped what would have been a pretty game-changing touchdown. It was a slant right across the middle. Purdy put it right on him. Completely dropped it. I was bamboozled watching. Bamboozled. And I think in the game he had like 35 yards. When a player is struggling, I commend them for being able to own up and say, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? Like Brock Purdy had a really, really bad game. He had a really bad game. And he came out after that game and said, this is on me. I feel like I failed the team. Those are strong words from a quarterback who's in his third year in the league and is already under an immense amount of pressure considering what the league thinks of him, what critics think of him, and he still is coming out and saying, this is on me. Deebo Samuel, a 5-year veteran, has been to the Pro Bowl. We've seen his success, and obviously, statistically on paper and visually, you can see he's struggling and having a bad year. And he comes out and say he's lacking opportunities. It's not struggle. Are you serious, man? Are you serious? You have been absolutely atrocious from the beginning of the season to where we are right now. And you want to say you're not struggling? You're not getting the opportunities you usually do? And like, come and say he gets those opportunities. If he did do something with what he got on Thursday night, he would have shut everyone up. Like he did versus the Eagles. I believe it was last year. He shut everyone up. Everyone. Not a single person could say anything. Now the entire world is against you. Your own fan base was booing you. You by yourself. Just you during the game. Come on, Deebo. Come on. In my personal opinion, I don't even know if Deebo is on this team next year. This Niners team is really a mess. If we're going to get into an even more messier situation, we could talk about Devondre Campbell. If you guys haven't heard already, obviously Devondre Campbell was signed in the offseason. Let me put this into series of events for you. Let's see if we can think through this through Devondre Campbell's mind. Devondre Campbell was signed in the offseason to basically replace Dre Greenlaw until Greenlaw was able to come back. And Dre Greenlaw, being, in my personal opinion, a top 10 linebacker in the league, was obviously going to get the starting position back when he returned. Obviously, Greenlaw had that heartbreaking injury in the Super Bowl, the torn Achilles walking onto the field. And so up until this point, he had been out up until Thursday night, and Devondre Campbell was in his place. Now, Devondre Campbell had not been very good. I watch every single game from start to finish. Devondre Campbell has noticeably been a weak point on this defense, but there's nothing you can really do about it. Dre Greenlaw's injured. So when it came Dre Greenlaw's time to return, for some odd reason, Devondre Campbell believed he was going to still keep that starting spot. Number one, you came onto this team, you were signed to this team for one and one only reason, for depth. And when Dre Greenlaw was injured, you were slotted into that starting lineup. You had to understand that when Dre Greenlaw came back, you were going to get moved to the bench. So, if that is the reason that Devondre Campbell was angry, Dre Greenlaw had to come out of the game on Thursday night after the first half. No serious thing, just soreness working him back in. And we were banged up at linebacker, another couple of guys. So Devondre Campbell, obviously, we need him in the game. We signed him for depth. Here's your turn to come in the game. Your depth. He says, no, I don't want to play. What? No, I don't want to play? Bro, this is the NFL. This is a must-win game. You have to win this game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts, bro. You have to play. He says no. And then they get a clip of, bro, walking off of the field. Like, that's an immense amount of disrespect and immaturity coming from a 9-year, I believe, veteran. Like, bro, you are in your 30s and you're acting like a child. You were in your 30s and you're acting like a child. And it's not like we were getting blown out. It's not like the game was getting out of hand. Bro, this was a tight game from start to finish. It was a defensive game. You would have came in with the defense behind your back with fire. And you say, no, I don't want to play? What the hell is that? What the actual hell is that, Devondre Campbell? Obviously, there's in no way that he is with the team anymore. We saw multiple 49ers players call him out after that game. Charvarius Ward, quote on, said he probably gonna get cut soon. Can't blame him. George Kittle said he didn't want to be around anything like that ever again. So Devondre Campbell, you're probably not watching this, but if this ever does get to you, you are a coward. A coward. Okay? And your NFL career is likely over. Sucks for you, bud. if we're going to get into the Niners season, to sum it all up, the season is likely over. Our chances to make the playoffs are somewhere between that 0 and 1%. 6-8 on the season. The Super Bowl hangover continues. Not really much you can say. I mean, I do feel for a lot of these guys. This has been a rough season. A lot of injuries that are not really deserved. A lot of heart aching for a lot of our players. Ricky Pearsall started the season on a bad note, being shot. Both Trent Williams and Charvarius Ward lost children during this season, so definitely hasn't been the best season for the Niners this year. But bad spots like Devondre Campbell doing stuff like that, it ruins it all. Like, you really want to feel for these guys, and then you have bad teammates like that. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Charvarius Ward lost his child a month ago. Trent Williams lost his child 2 weeks ago. Ricky Pearsall was shot this year. And every single one of them, eventually came back and played on that field. But you want to leave because you got benched. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, the Niners, I guess we look into next season, into the draft. But, yeah, real sad situation. Well, everybody, thank you guys for watching Mal with the Mic. Like I said, we're going to be back banging out episodes at least once a week, I hope. Obviously, we have Christmas break coming up, so definitely going to get a lot of episodes out. Like I said, we are now on Spotify, so if you were unable to watch here on YouTube, please tune in on Spotify. It's going to be the same stuff. Obviously, you're just not going to be able to see. You can listen in, whether you're in the car, sitting at home, whatever you like. Please keep tuning in, keep sharing. Peace, and I'll see y'all later.